At the athletic club, Sally chats to Billy about their morning walk in the park and meditation as he stares at his phone. Working to get his attention, Sally wants to talk about her ideas for the Abbott Communications launch party. She thinks they should run with a theme, like Future Forward or Night of the Hollywood Stars. He says they all sound great, and she should do whichever she likes best. She assumes something is wrong. The Abbott claims he's been having a top-notch day. He touched grass with his toes and everything. Sally can see that Billy's wound up and assumes that what Nick said about him firing Phyllis got to him. Billy insists that Nick didn't get under his skin. She assumes he feels guilty because he has a big heart. Billy insists he's not second-guessing letting Phyllis go. He's confident she'll land on her feet. Sally worries what will happen in the future, given he told Phyllis this was only a leave of absence. Billy only said that to soften the blow. Sally hopes that's true since she just blew up her career to work with him. Billy repeats that he is committed to her, and there's no scenario where he will replace her with Phyllis or anyone else. Sally backs down, and they get back to discussing the launch party theme. She wants to do something exciting and contemporary, but also familiar. They need to stress connectedness and convince people that they are inviting and trustworthy. To distinguish themselves from Newman Media, she suggests they be cutting edge and retro at the same time. Billy loves the idea. They can pitch themselves as a return to the trustworthy. She envisions the party as surrounding the dawn of TV in the 50s, and using that as a metaphor for the return to decency and elegance in media. Billy thinks this is brilliant. She's inspirational. He's sure she'll be a superstar. Taking Sally's hand, Billy tells her he no longer feels like eating breakfast. He suggests they go up to her suite and stop talking. They drop their napkins and walk. At Society, Amanda grills Phyllis about trying to get in touch with Dumas. When Phyllis tries to cover, her friend explains that she's Aristotle's legal counsel. She asks what she's after with her boss. Phyllis replies, "My entire future." Amanda is sure she is being overly dramatic, but Phyllis is insistent. They go over how horrible Phyllis' year has been, and she thanks Amanda for all their talks over the phone. Phyllis complains that she was starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but Billy was too frustrating to work with, so she had to quit. Now, she wants to create a company with her son. All she needs is someone with deep pockets who can respect her vision. She's sure Dumas could be such a person and Amanda could talk him into it. "It's not going to happen," Amanda bluntly says. Her friend won't give up and begs for 15 minutes with her boss. Amanda explains she already talked to Dumas about her, assuming she was after financial backing. She sang her praises and left out the dicey details, but it was a definite no. Phyllis asks about what Dumas' other priorities are, but Amanda won't say. She assumes that Phyllis won't drop this, but warns that nothing will change. "I just need a little money," Phyllis pleads. Her friend asks about her idea. Waving her hands, Phyllis says it's a lot of things, and she'd like to pitch them all. The lawyer realizes she has no idea what her business is supposed to be. Media, that's what it is," Phyllis says, speaking vaguely about using linear influencers and AI. Amanda says her boss has no interest in media. Phyllis wonders why he reached out to Billy about Abbott Communications. She realizes Dumas must be interested in Chancellor. Her friend refuses to discuss this, but Phyllis can't stop gushing about how great it would be if Nikki and Victor lost Chancellor. She offers inside information. Amanda repeats that her boss isn't interested. She urges her friend to let all of this go. "Forget about Dumas. Move on," Amanda urges. Once Amanda leaves, Phyllis calls Summer in Milan and teases her about going out for drinks with her new hire. They agree to talk more tomorrow, and she tells Summer how proud she is of her. After she gets off the line, she thinks of calling Daniel but decides against it. She calls Nick instead, leaving a message to thank him for offering his support whenever she needs it. She may take him up on it. At Nate's penthouse, he and his cousins discuss their shock at discovering that Amanda is Aristotle Dumas' legal representative. Devin wonders what it means. Before they can mull that over, Amy arrives with Damien. She feels good to be back with the people she cares about. They talk about the restaurant they went to, and Devin notices they seem close again. It must be a relief for Damien to let go of the anger. Taking his mom's hand, Damien explains how grateful he is to have the chance to move past the anger and get to know his mom all over again. As they hug, Nate and Lily smile. Devin looks unimpressed. Damien tells his mom he's a different man and will always be there for her. This is more than Amy could have hoped for. Her son says she deserves it. As they all sit, Lily explains they've had the paperwork drawn up for Damien's job offer, and given his experience, they think he could oversee their hotel chain. Damien thinks it's a good fit and asks if his brother is on board. Nate feels this could be great. As Damien shares his excitement, Devin leaps in to ask if he knows Amanda Sinclair. Damien has never heard of her. They drop that and get back to talking about his plans to move to Genoa City. He thinks that his mom should make a home there with him. That sounds great to Nate, but Amy finds it hard to imagine, given that she spent the last year planning for the end. A reunion and goodbye were the most she expected. Her son wants them to be together for whatever time she has left. Damien thanks Nate for helping them see this through. He's starting to feel like a whole new family is coming together. Amy thinks packing will be overwhelming, but her son assures her he will find them a place. Devin crosses the room to get some water and Lily follows, noting he's been silent beyond grilling Damien about Amanda. She thinks he could have been more diplomatic for Amy's sake and senses something is bothering him. Her brother explains he's suspicious of Damien. This is all coming together too easily. Plus, Amanda just showed up to tell him Dumas is not a threat. There are too many coincidences for him. It doesn't help that Damien is pursuing his sister. Lily says she feels like they can trust him. He hopes she's right and they aren't opening the door to a tiger. Devin announces he needs to take his son to baseball practice. He welcomes Damien to the company and exits. Nate strolls over to Lily and asks if everything is all right. Amy is tired, so Nate offers to take her up to her room and fix her blinds. Once they head off, Damien asks Lily if everything is cool with her brother. He wonders if Devin's not sold on him joining the company. Lily says he'll come around. When Damien asks if she trusts him, she says, "I'm getting there." That sets him off. He doesn't know what else he has to do to prove himself after agreeing to walk away from his job and life in LA, calming him. Lily says she was joking. She trusts him and they will welcome him to Winters Incorporated with open arms. This is starting to feel like a beginning. They are both looking forward to where this can go. Nate stands on the stairs and watches them. Billy and Sally stumble down the stairs of the athletic club after their romp in her suite. They are startled to bump into Amanda when they step into the foyer. He introduces the two women. Amanda remembers her as the woman who teamed up with Tara to drive Summer out. Sally assures her she's changed. Billy bluntly asks Amanda if his mom sent her. Jill didn't send her. She explains that she and Jill parted on very good terms, and she's moved on to being Dumas' legal counsel. They argue about his mom selling the company to Victor, and he asks if she had anything to do with it. Amanda claims she urged Jill to reconsider and give him another chance. He thanks her for going to bat for him. The lawyer says his mother is in a lot of pain over her choice, and she urges him to reach out to her and make peace before it's too late. Billy doesn't want to talk about his mom anymore and asks what Dumas' business with the Winters family is. She can't say. Billy complains that he's been trying to get a meeting with her boss for months, and they keep stringing him along. Amanda offers to see what she can do and walks off. Sally says she does not care for that woman. Both she and Billy assume she is hiding something. This whole situation is getting very suspicious, he says. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. it's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. While we loathe the optics of Audra agreeing to do Victor's dirty work when it comes to Kyle, it's clear why he reached out to her. She knows her stuff, and we're not talking about the art of seduction. Yes, her cunning plan to do in Kyle's relationship has become clear and is well on its way to success. Unless a certain someone blows it all up, and if so, it's not only her new company, Vibrant, that's at stake, but her relationship with Nate as well. It's no wonder Audra agreed to Victor's terms. While initially it appeared as though she might have to seduce Kyle into a compromising situation to torpedo his romance with Claire, it turns out she knew all along that she'd have to do nothing of the sort. All Audra has to do to get herself a brand spanking new company is manipulate the Abbott, and so far, she's looking like a master. Without even having received a dime of funding for her new startup, Audra has Kyle fully convinced of its existence. Not only that, but the mere mention of a revolutionary new super product sent him into a tailspin. Knowing her ex-lover and colleague as well as she does, Audra understood the assignment. All she had to do was push the right buttons, and he'd implode his own relationship without her having to lift a finger. Indeed, from the moment Audra teased her super product, Kyle did exactly what she must have realized he would. First, he sent up a panicked flare with Jack and Diane over at Jebot, and even suggested that he could try to steal the plans for the revolutionary new cosmetic concoction, proving he's learned exactly nothing from his experiences. Next, he informed his girlfriend that he would have to spend a lot more time with ex-lover in order to find out what she's up to. Talk about playing right into Audra's hands. There's no company or super product, yet Audra brilliantly manipulated Kyle into focusing on her and not Claire, thus jeopardizing his relationship, given that his girlfriend is not going to be on board with any of this and will get more fed up with it the more he becomes consumed by it. Audra clearly realized there was more than one way to entice the Abbott, and is well on her way to successfully completing Victor's assignment already. Unfortunately, someone with too much time on their hands and an avid interest in Audra might prove to be a stumbling block. Holden witnessed her working her magic on Kyle in the coffee house and questioned her about it after the fact. Audra dodged his questions, which had the opposite effect she'd hoped. Rather than getting him to back off, her evasiveness only served to pique his interest. Young and restless spoilers indicate that Holden will quiz Kyle about his relationship with Audra, which means that, whether out of jealousy or simple curiosity, Audra's admirer from Lay could well throw a monkey wrench into her operation. The young and the restless spoilers document that Phyllis Summers is failing, but her latest failed attempt to rise from the ashes has been followed by the return of a strong ally, Amanda Sinclair. Phyllis' attempt to coerce Victor Newman into paying her in exchange for supposed intel about Aristotle Dumas was foolish. She followed it with an ill-fated attempt to communicate with him old school, meaning through a phone call. Thankfully for Phyllis, she just received a most unexpected gift. Amanda's surprise return to Genoa City, Wisconsin, provides a needed confidant and a direct connection to the still unseen new character Aristotle. Whether Aristotle is a man or a woman has been answered verbally. Amanda is the first person to say she met him in person. Amanda's place at Aristotle's hand-picked attorney is intriguing. Viewers recall that Morgan's second character left Genoa City, Wisconsin, a year ago. Her relationship with Devin Winters ended with a betrayal, as he and the then Abby Newman Abbott were becoming involved and would eventually marry. Considering Damian Kane's role with Dumas Company, which may soon end, and Victor's repeated mentions of this business rival, it would appear that this new character's reveal is soon coming. Phyllis continues to grapple with the after effects of her and Sharon Newman's kidnapping. In contrast, Sharon has steadied herself. Sharon and Phyllis's developing friendship is still forming and arguably may not last. However, for the moment, Both women are honest about their bond. Sharon's hope to reconcile with Nick Newman noticeably bothers Phyllis. However, the bond referenced has both ladies restraining themselves around each other and not offering barbs. It will be intriguing to see if Sharon and Amanda continue to aid Phyllis in her recovery from what appears to be post-traumatic stress. Of course, Amanda's role as Phyllis' ally, position in Aristotle's company, and access to him imply that she's likely to be more helpful in the short term. Who is more reckless than Billy Abbott? Few would offer another name regarding the mix of current storylines. His attempt to take on Victor and Aristotle is entirely ridiculous. However, he has Jack Abbott in his corner and, more importantly, as his financial backer. While he may not realize it, Jack can rein in Billy simply by pulling the money back if Thompson's character goes too far. Although he may have already waded too far into dangerous territory, as Sally Spectra learned when he mentioned pitting Victor and Aristotle against each other. The Young and the Restless recap for Tuesday, May 19 tease skepticism, decisions, and questions. Victor Newman is skeptical, Victoria Newman makes a decision, and Holden Novak has questions. Claire Newman visits the new ranch and impresses Victor with a chocolate croissant, intending to discuss Kyle Abbott. He regrets that she hasn't canceled her plans to move in with him, and Victor feels there's no point in discussing it. However, Claire believes he will be taken aback by her news. Both are troubled by the tension this situation is creating in their relationship, as his approval is significant to her. Claire has persuaded Kyle to hold off on moving in for now, wanting to be transparent with her grandfather, who values this honesty. She then requests his assistance. Claire believes collaborating on a birthday party for Nicky Newman would mean a lot to her, and Victor agrees, though he remains doubtful about Claire's true intentions for the celebration. Cole Howard meets Nick Newman and Victoria at Crimson Lights. Nick jokes about thinking Cole was dead. Cole admits he was scared, but feels strong again after his quarantine. Victoria wants to keep an eye on him and suggests he move into the tack house to live together as a family. Cole is surprised and thought their daughter was moving out, but Victoria says that's on hold. He reminds her that her other kids live there too. She replies, allegedly, they had already discussed this, and the kids thought he was living there, as did Nick, who leaves them to sort it out. Victoria tells Cole that their daughter wants them to be happy and knows he makes her happy. She felt his absence while he was away. He realizes this could be their only chance to live together. The fact that he misses her is enough reason to move in. After sharing a kiss, she expresses how difficult it was to be apart, while he healed and promises that she will be there for him next time he is unwell. They reflect on their journey and acknowledge that they truly belong together. They then talk about Victor's issues with Kyle and Claire, which feels familiar. As they stand up, he almost stumbles but reassures her that he is fine. Kyle meets Holden at Society and praises his work at Jibboat, offering to buy him a drink. As they chat at the bar, Audra Charles arrives and is surprised to see them together. She approaches them, and they discuss drinks in Metallica. Kyle asks how long they have known each other, but they clarify they are not friends. Audra makes some jabs at Kyle, calling Holden forgettable and saying the Abbott is a waste of her time. Holden mentions their past, but Kyle insists he has moved on and isn't concerned about her. Audra acknowledges his maturity, and Holden suggests it's best for everyone to get along. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of May 19, 2025. Fans can expect Abby Winters to grill Amanda Sinclair. Damian Kane receives an intriguing offer. Plus, Holden Novak questions Kyle Abbott about his history with Audra Charles. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Next week, fans can expect Abby to be alarmed by what she hears from Devin Winters. Devin will tell Abby all about the mysterious ambush by Amanda. Abby does confront the lawyer and pleads for the truth. Is Aristotle Dumas after the family business? However, in a preview clip, Amanda assures Abby that Dumas wants to protect Winters, not take it away. While Amanda does seem genuine, I'm not sure if she even knows the truth about Dumas. Meanwhile, Damien will get an intriguing offer. Now, fans know that Damien already works for Dumas. However, Lily Winters offered Damien a double agent assignment, which he accepted. Now, he is going to have to get Lillian Tell while also keeping his cover with Dumas. With Amanda in town, that might be easier said than done. Maybe Dumas already has a feeling that he's about to be betrayed. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Holden will question Kyle about his history with Audra. It certainly looks like Holden is jealous, or could he be intentionally sabotaging Audra? In any case, Kyle is going to likely warn Holden. First of all, Kyle won't like a stranger approaching him about his romantic history, especially someone he doesn't even know. There was also that scene between Holden and Claire Grace Newman a while back. Kyle might also warn Holden to steer clear of Audra. Later, Audra will be forced to defend her actions. Could Audra's deal with Victor Newman lead her to lose Nate Hastings? Fans will also see Phyllis Summers call in a favor. Jack Abbott helps Diane Jenkins Abbott find her place in the family. Victor has serious doubts about Claire's proposal. The Newman patriarch will also give Michael Baldwin a stern warning. Meanwhile, Lauren Fenmore Baldwin will worry about her marriage. Elsewhere, Diane frets over Kyle's decisions. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that your favorite daytime drama will be lit for summer 2025. There are bombshells galore coming to Genoa City that will light the town up like the 4th of July. Here's a sneak peek, and we think you'll like it. Daytime is all about love in the afternoon, and this summer will be scorching hot as Y and R couples face challenges, with some of the established brands on the chopping block. Mesa, Eka Mariah Copeland and Tessa Porter are about to see if they can weather Mariah's betrayal. Ruro, we are waiting with bated breath. What in the world transpires between hottie Tessa and hottie Daniel Romolotti? Will Kyle Abbott's relationship with Claire Newman survive now that Audra Charles and Victor Newman are out to ruin it? Speaking of the minx, Audra jeopardizes her romance with Nate Hastings in the process. Which is good if you don't like vanilla and boring. Wake me when it's over. Chatham Aka Chelsea Newman and Adam Newman are already feeling tension after deciding to work and play together. And we predict the same will happen to Silly, Aka Sally Spectra, and Billy Abbott. Working with your so then going home with them at the end of the day is not for the faint of heart. Let's not forget these wildcards: Holden Novak, Damien Kane, and Lily Winters. All of them have secrets and pasts that could come back to haunt them. Speaking of Lily's past, drumroll please, clues are pointing to Billy Flynn as a Kane Ashby recast. But wait, there's more. Will Ashby admits he's Aristotle Dumas? Definitely maybe daytime fans. Let's unpack what could be going on here. Aristotle Dumas is a dupe name, and we finally have a chance to see who is masquerading as the fake name. Needless to say, the show has been building to this reveal for some time, and all signs point to a blockbuster reveal when Dumas is unveiled. Business shenanigans have dominated GC for a while now, but we predict that once summer hits, the sunshine lures the characters out of the office and into Speedos. There are many romantic entanglements on the horizon, which means secret bed hopping and trading of partners. The biggest sizzle will come from a returned Kane Ashby, who likely has never gotten over his ex Lily, who already has a suitor in Damien. Let the games begin. Tell us what you think of our predictions, I and our fans. Sharon and Phyllis' kidnapping ordeal had them making peace, but they might soon be back to enemies. The Young and the Restless rivals Sharon and Phyllis have called a truce in their longtime feud. Their kidnapping ordeal brought the two closer, and they agreed to keep the peace. However, recent circumstances could have the women becoming enemies again. Sharon and Phyllis' rivalry began because of the redhead's affair with Nick. Phyllis breaking up Schick's marriage caused heartbreak and earned her a new enemy. Throughout the years, Nick has waffled between his ex-wives. He's reunited and split with Sharon and Phyllis many times. Currently, the trio is single, and another round in their epic love triangle could be looming. At first, it looked like Nick and Sharon were going to reunite. He helped support her through recent harrowing ordeals, something Sharon is grateful for. It's obvious Sharon is still in love with Nick, and when she broached the topic of getting back together, he shut her down. Perhaps Nick's reason for turning Sharon down is because of Phyllis? Nick recently comforted Phyllis, who is having a tough time after getting fired by Billy. From the looks of it, the writers might be shifting from a Schick to a Fick reunion. Sharon is already showing signs of jealousy around Nick and Phyllis. With Sharon still hung up on Nick, she's not giving him up without a fight. However, Phyllis will put up a worthy fight if she decides she wants Nick. Aside from Nick, Sharon and Phyllis will also find themselves arguing over their kids. Phyllis' son Daniel is spending a lot of time with Sharon's daughter-in-law, Tessa. Daniel and Tessa have become friends as she helps him with his musical aspirations. However, their friendship is coming at the worst time since Tessa and Mariah are having marital problems. My Aunt R seems to be foreshadowing a possible Daniel and Tessa affair, which means hardtack for Mariah and tension between Sharon and Phyllis. Sharon will be furious at Daniel for destroying Mariah's marriage, which will bring back memories of Nick and Phyllis' affair. Sharon will hate that her daughter is enduring the same pain she's experienced many times. Phyllis, on the other hand, will be supportive of her son's decision. Daniel has been going through a difficult time since Heather's death. Tessa helped bring him out of his funk and made him smile. If Tessa makes Daniel happy, then Phyllis will encourage her son to pursue a romance with the singer. Audra plays games and Claire goes after what she wants. For the Tuesday, May 20 episode of The Young and the Restless, spoilers photos show Kyle being questioned and swept off his feet, Audra playing games, and Victoria opening up. Claire has a proposal for a grandpa, but teasers show Victor doesn't love what she has to say. Will that impact her romance with Kyle? Surely not, since they meet up in the park for a romantic afternoon. They are all sunshine, roses, and sweet kisses as they talk through the next stage in their lives. Don't think that peace and quiet will last long, though. Drama is coming their way in the form of Audra. She and Holden run into him at society while he's waiting on his and Claire's takeout, and of course, Audra will bat her lashes and play nice. Then, she'll follow him to the park and spy on his sweet little date with his girlfriend. Meanwhile, Victoria and Cole grab a coffee at Crimson Lights to discuss their relationship, if they even have one. What does Victoria want? Is she ready to try her hand at love again, or does she need Cole to stick around just as a friend? Her answer may shock you. Inside the coffee shop, Nick and Sharon have a chit-chat of their own. Nick has been sidling up to Phyllis quite a lot recently, and we're sure Sharon will have a few things to say about that. Is she feeling a tinge of jealousy? Does she want more from Nick, especially after their recent trip? Stay tuned to find out. It was a big day in Genoa City. The Young and the Restless recap for Monday, May 19 sees Phyllis make a desperate plea to Amanda to get through to Dumas. Plus, Billy grills Amanda about Dumas while Damien agrees to work at Winters. Phyllis caught up with Amanda at society and insisted she wasn't trying to get in touch with Dumas. Amanda revealed she was working as his legal counsel. That left Phyllis stunned. She explained that her entire future hinged on talking to the elusive billionaire. Amanda called that dramatic but admitted she understood how rough the year had been for her. Phyllis laid it out. She walked away from Billy and is now building a company with Daniel. But to make it work, she needed someone with deep pockets. Amanda shut her down gently, letting her know she had already floated the idea to Dumas and he passed. Still, Phyllis refused to let it go. Amanda wouldn't say more, which only pushed Phyllis to guess. She figured Chancellor was his real target. Amanda urged her to move on, but Phyllis couldn't go to anyone else in town for funding. Once Amanda left, Phyllis called Summer to tell her how proud she was of her, then reached out to Nick to thank him for being there. She said she might just take him up on his offer to lean on him. Across town, Billy and Sally sat down at the GCAC, and she noticed his head wasn't in the game. She wanted to talk about their launch party, but he kept drifting. When she asked if he was thinking about Phyllis, he said no. Sally reminded him that she gave up everything to work beside him and didn't want Phyllis creeping back in. Billy promised she had nothing to worry about and said they'd make the company a success. Talk turned back to party themes, and Sally suggested a retro throwback to the golden age of television. He loved it and called her a superstar. They decided to skip breakfast and head upstairs. After they returned, they ran into Amanda. Billy made introductions and asked if Jill had sent her. Amanda clarified she parted ways with Jill on good terms and now worked for Dumas. When Billy asked if she encouraged Jill to sell to Victor, Amanda insisted she advised against it. He asked why Dumas kept stringing him along. Amanda said she'd try to arrange a meeting. Once she was gone, Sally admitted she didn't like Amanda and thought she was hiding something. Billy agreed. At the penthouse, Devin, Lily, and Nate discussed Amanda's surprise reappearance and her work with Dumas. Amy and Damien arrived. Lily offered Damien a job overseeing the Winters hotels, and he was eager to take it. Devin asked if he knew Amanda. Damien said he didn't. Damien invited Amy to move in with him. Nate and Lily supported the idea, but Amy was hesitant after spending the last year preparing for the end of her life. Damien told her that he wanted to make the most of whatever time they had left. Devin pulled Lily aside to say this all felt too convenient. Damien's complete turnaround didn't sit right with him. Lily insisted they could trust him, and Devin hoped she was right. After Devin left, Damien asked if he wasn't sold on the idea of him joining the company. Lily tried to brush it off, but Damien wanted to know how else he could prove himself. She reassured him. Holden has questions. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, May 20, find Victor and Victoria making major life decisions. His is expected, hers is more of a surprise. Victor still hates Kyle. This is not news, except to Claire. She appears surprised by it every single time. Claire is surprised that Victor isn't ecstatic over her plan to throw a pop Vic falls as much in love with the first boy I ever kissed as I am party. No one else is. Victor tells Claire he doesn't like Kyle, he doesn't like Claire's party plans, and he doesn't like anything that isn't his idea. So sure, go ahead, prepare to get festive. Victor will sit there and glower, like always. How many times have Victoria and Cole gotten together? How many times have they broken up? Victoria is wondering whether they should do it again. Something about seeing Cole all feverish and sniffly in the hospital made Victoria want to take care of him. And that's kind of like love, right? In some ways, it's even better. Victoria and Cole have already done the passion and romance thing. That didn't do them much good in the long run. Maybe just affection and no other options would be better. And hey, they have a newfound daughter. Shouldn't they be a family that succeeds where true love failed? Holden dated Audra back in Los Angeles. He thinks he knows her pretty well, but he'd like to see her through somebody else's eyes. So he grills Kyle about the woman he once bedded and now plans to use for his own purposes. Maybe Kyle will buy a clue.